everyone and welcome to Healthy Headspace, and in today's video we are going to be talking about self-awareness. Now before we do get started in today's video and talking about self-awareness, I just want to briefly tell you about something that I'm going to start doing for each and every video moving onward from this point. Now timestamps is something I should have been putting on the videos I've already uploaded already, but I've been a bit lazy. Editing can be quite stressful, and when you're trying to work a 9 to 5 job and do this kind of thing, it's not easy and you just can't be bothered. If I'm being honest, I've been a bit lazy with it. But what I am going to try and timestamp into each video from this point onward is something called What Can We Do? Basically, which is at the end of the videos I'll talk or touch upon briefly what we can do to fix a problem or things that we shouldn't be doing, should be doing, etc, etc. You get the point. And I'm going to timestamp that at the end of the video so that you can just bypass all the other part of the video if you just want to get to the point, because I do waffle a bit. But I will advise you that if you do that, you miss out the educational part. But if you are somebody that's revisiting the video because you wanted to watch it again to remember these points or come back to these points, so you might be having another episode where you're struggling again, then that's also why I'm doing it. But anyway, we're going to get started with the actual educational part, the first part of the video. We are first going to touch upon inner awareness and our behaviours when these things are kind of going on. Now what I mean by inner awareness is becoming very aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, kind of going back to the first video if you've seen it, when I talked about, thoughts, words and feelings and how they impact us with our mental health, or even good and bad, that is. Similar, it's all connected really, but when you're talking about self-awareness, you've got to become very self-aware of the thoughts. If you have a trigger or if you don't have a trigger, if everything triggers you, whatever, become very self-aware of those kinds of things, being at one with that thought as well, instead of again, I'll touch upon this in the what can we do section, but instead of like fighting a thought or fighting a feeling, you've got to become very self-aware of your behaviours when that thought comes in, because that's what sometimes will trigger panic attacks, anxiety attacks, whatever it might be that it triggers. You sort of, going back to me when I was going through it, I don't know if I'd class it as a panic attack or something, probably an anxiety attack. Your thought comes in, it's getting to you, it's really kicking the shit out of you, it's proper sticking the boot in, and you get into a point where you're losing control of that feeling, if you like, and then I'd be just rushing around like a mad idiot, try and sort this out, try and sort that out, do this, do that, what can I do, go for a walk, go around, walk around, blah. And like, as you've noticed, my speech will pick up, I'll talk to myself a lot. It's kind of like these videos, to be honest with you, as you notice, because I do suffer a little bit with anxiety when I'm doing these videos, just because I don't like my voice, I don't like my face being on a recording, if I'm honest, because there's other self-conscious things that I've got going on within me, but they don't control me anymore. But sometimes I do have these leaks of anxiety, body languages, which is talking with hands and arms and stuff like that, and the speech picks up and what have you, and I might not make sense, I might trip over my own words, which you'll have heard on the videos. Again, I'm going off topic a little bit, but that's what I'm saying. I'm very self-aware of my behaviours. I'm very self-aware of what I'm like if this scenario pops up, or if I'm having to do this, or if I'm having to step out of my comfort zone. I'm very self-aware of what might happen, but it doesn't control me anymore. It doesn't determine what I will and won't do. I decide what I'm going to do, not the anxiety. So, and the emotion and the feelings, they're not going to control me anymore, which is typically what happens. Anyway, so yeah, that's what you've got to be. Again, become very self-aware of your behaviours, what they're doing to you. How do you react to a certain thought that comes in? How do you feel when that feeling comes in and you feel a certain way about something? What are your behaviours when that happens? If someone says something to you and it hurts your feelings, do you react anger, or do you just get straight stroppy with them? Do you start playing the blame game, or do you start pointing fingers without looking at yourself or taking on board the criticism, etc.? You've got to become very self-aware of all these things that's going on within you, whether you're dealing with yourself or somebody else or a situation or scenario. You've got to think about things. So you need to stop, think. When it happens, when it comes in, okay, stop and think. Actually take a breath and think about it. Again, I'll touch upon these with the what can we do section. But yeah, that's the point with the inner awareness stuff, is a lot of it's an internal battle, but the external stuff is more, I find there's more going on externally to you than there is internally to you. But the problem is the internal stuff is the one that really affects you. The external stuff is stuff you're not going to think of, which is why the inner awareness I don't touch upon too much, because you already know I don't need to touch upon it too much. And as I said earlier in the video about my example of recording this video and how it makes me feel, you got to see me there for a second, and you got to see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the behaviours that I display and the fact that I'm very self-aware of it. Very self-aware, whereas in the past I probably wouldn't have been aware of what I was doing. But the outer awareness part of things, and this is the outside influences that you're not thinking about, or maybe you have thought about, but you're not doing note about it. So for example, if you've got family, if you've got friends that are clearly no good for you, or just right now you can't be around that person, whether that's because they're too negative, whether that's because they put you down, whether it's just because, like I said, they're just bringing their problems to your door, even while they know that you've got your problems, they rather put their shit on you, and then they go and feel a bit better and not give a shit how they've just made you feel and what happens to you for the rest of the night when they leave you. Typically that is what happens. Family, friends do that all the time. You don't think about it, and you only realise it until either someone says something to you, or you get to the point where I got to, where you reach breaking point, and then you become very self-aware of everything. So people is a big one. But also there's things that you're doing without that are still outside influences, but you're very much in control, and they are things you can change today. So if you're somebody that's going through a bad breakup and you sit and watch Netflix and you're watching breakup type stuff, chick flicks or something like that, and it's all talking, the whole film or series is based around a romance, a love romance or something like that, and they have a breakup and you're torturing yourself, and then you're basically placing, your mind places you into that series, in that film. You put your head on that person's head and put yourself there. It's the same with the music that you listen to. You get in the car to go to work in the morning, or even if you just got a playlist going on while you're going to work, or just getting on with your day, and it's usually full of negative shit. These are very talented artists, but they want to talk about breakups and negativity because it sells and because it's easy for them. If you ask an artist, right, you got to write me a whole album about positivity, they'd probably struggle to do it, if I'm honest. I don't even know if they could do it, because it just doesn't sell, and they know what they are doing. They know it's not nice things that they're saying, not nice things that they're talking about, but if it makes them money, tears sell, I guess. But like I said, if you're getting in a car and you're going to work, Louis Capaldi is coming on talking about another fucking breakup or another problem that he's had in his life. He's such a talented bloke, but he's just got his head in the wrong place. And he's probably, again, not self-aware of what he's doing. I know that he's got all these feelings inside, and maybe writing it down helps him, but he's just putting his negativity down on a piece of paper to give everybody else, while not getting anywhere himself. That is obviously maybe not as of now, but that is his past. He's put a documentary on Netflix. I've watched it, so you can clearly see what I'm talking about to be true. But there's loads of artists. Taylor Swift, another one. Break up this guy's a knobhead, this guy did this guy did that. And it's like, you ever stop and think about what you might be like, that you might actually be having a problem. You're causing these reactions. It's not just about the other people, it's about you as well. And again, becoming self-aware of what your body language is saying to other people, what your vibe is giving off to other people, how you're making other people feel. If you're a negative person yourself and you're whinging and you're mourning, you feel miserable, you feel sad, these people will walk away from you eventually. The good ones, anyway, will walk away from you. You might think, well, the good ones stay and the bad ones don't. Well, that's not always the case. Sometimes the good ones will actually walk away because they need to protect themselves from you. So stop wallowing in self-pity and thinking that and playing the victim, because that's what this is. It's always playing the victim in anything, and you need to stop that behaviour, because the longer you continue with that behaviour, the longer you'll notice that there's less people around you that you really could do with, because they've moved away from you, because they've outgrown you, or you've put yourself in a hole that they can't possibly reach you from right now, and you've got to try and find your own way out back to that place you want to be, or beyond that. You may even find yourself one day outgrowing them because you've gone past them. It's like a race in a way. So again, you've got to have that's something else you've got to become very self-aware of, is you as well as others. So yeah, again, self-aware of things like that, the things that you're watching, the things that you're listening to, the things that social media is a big one. I know it's hard, Social media is a new addiction. That's what it is. Social media is in my opinion, it's a new addiction. It's just as maybe not this. It doesn't have necessarily the same side effects as drugs and drink. I don't really know. I don't do drugs and drink, but the point is, you go online, and you get home from work, or even while you're at work, the first thing you do whenever you've got any free time, if you're on social media, is you're doing this, and you're looking and you're usually judging other people as well without solving your own issues. Even I do it. I judge other people. I judge a situation, but I'm in such a different place now that I can judge this, but I'm judging this from experience and what I've gone through and the fact that I would like to help this person or people, not because he's a fucking dickhead, keeps doing the same problem. What a fucking idiot, put phone down. Do you know what I mean? I'll sit there and think, well, actually, why don't you actually think about what you're doing? Or, again, you get my point. So, but this is a big problem. The scrolling, even if you're fucking not mentally unwell, but you're a scroller because everybody's doing it. You're too busy watching everybody else live their life. You're sat there watching fucking social media posts from influencers telling you, well, I've done this today and I've gone out and bought this and I've fucking got myself a nice pair of fucking new shoes. Who gives a shit? Live your fucking life. Earn yourself some money where you can buy shoes like that or whatever. Whatever it is. Point is, stop that shit. Taking breaks from social media is huge. Even if it's a day, you know what I mean? Just try it. I've been off it for a weeks at a time sometimes. I'll keep Messenger so that I can communicate with people, but I get rid of Facebook. I don't bother with Instagram too much, so I don't miss that. But it is difficult. I've done it, and I still would find it difficult today because you kind of, even the stuff that I'm not looking at, but I might like to look for memes, or I might look to stuff that make me laugh, or I might look for certain things that aren't really negative, but I've got that addiction like everybody else of just scrolling through shit because there's nothing else to do, or I'm not doing anything else with my life. This is easier than going out and making your garden look better, or painting your walls, or making your house look better. Fixing your car, washing your car. These are things that we should be doing for productivity, for your mind, but we're not. We're doing this, and we're just spreading the fucking negative feeling and emotion. So yeah, you need to become very self-aware of all those things, and I can't stress how big what you're looking at on social media and what you're listening to is massive. It is really, really important that you start becoming very self-aware of the outside influences, the shit you're watching, just all that stuff. You need to become very, very self-aware of it now. Right, so we'll move on to the section of what can we do, and some of it's self-explanatory, like I've said. So going back to the inner awareness side of things of what we can do, inner things that we can do is, again, so when that thought comes in, stop fighting it, be with it, think about it. What triggers me? What is that thought coming in? Is it something that's happened from your childhood, or is it something that happened at work? Is it this? Is it that? Just start to ask questions about the things that you're thinking rather than fighting it. You need to start asking questions. Asking questions is good. Being with that thought is better than fighting that thought, because you fight it, it intensifies. You fight it, it will come back. If you be with it and fool it, and it then will just be like, okay, you've acknowledged that, you've thought about that, you're now accepting that, and you're trying to fix that, so then it'll give you something else and it'll keep testing you. But if you keep doing the same thing, eventually it just becomes a habit where when a thought comes in, you then take a different process on how you deal with that, and then it becomes a habit, a good habit to have, because then you're not panicking, you're not getting all anxious and all clenched up, and you just, that's what you start doing. That's something you have to start doing, is be with that. And also, again, being aware of the feelings when these thoughts come in and what's attached to it. How does it make you feel? Take a deep breath. Breath work is massively important just in life. It doesn't matter whether you're mentally ill, whether you're not mentally ill. It's good for exercise, it's good for yoga, it's good for this, it's good for that. It's just good. You should be concentrating on learning a bit about breath work. Breathing from the diaphragm, in through the nose, hold it for a little bit, out through the mouth is a very good one. I can't remember what they call it. It's something like a 3-6-5 method or something like that. There's all different methods, but yeah, you take as huge a breath in as you can, hold it for a few seconds, and release it longer than the inhale. And you keep doing that 4 or 5 times. Breath work is something that you can and should be doing. Visualization work, again, we'll be touching upon these things later on in some of the videos, but that is, again, something else. Visualize yourself being in a happier place. Visualize a happier memory. if a bad thought comes in and you're struggling with it or whatever, think about something that you know will make you laugh. Think about something that makes you smile. Think about whatever, just childhood memories or memories with your own kids or whatever. It don't matter. Just think about something else that's good, not bad, and keep doing it. I can't stress for you anymore, and I'll keep drilling it into you. Don't sit there, try it once or twice, and because it's not worked in a week, it's not going to work. That is the wrong mentality. Your mentality is huge. If you have the mentality of, I'll try it, but if it don't work, fuck it, then you're not going nowhere, because it won't work within a week, it won't work within a month, unless you're really fucking good at it. But that's not to say that it won't or it can't, because you could try it and you might have a breakthrough in a week or a month and realise, oh shit, this does work, or oh shit, I've noticed I'm actually not feeling as bad as I normally would in the morning, or when this comes in, I feel a bit more in control. That's what I'm saying. It can be done within weeks and days and months, but you've got to put it in. You've got to be persistent, and that includes, if you get to where I am, where you're so mentally strong that you feel like nothing can be broken, that doesn't mean that I'm not putting no effort in or any work in every day, because I do. Because I still have that thought might come in, but as soon as it comes in, my brain then taught itself to go, right, okay, no, we're not thinking that though, we don't give a shit about that, fuck off, and it goes. That's how my brain's trained, and that's what you need to start doing. You need to get yourself into habits, and my subconscious mind now knows what I want it to do, because I tell it I've been telling it what I want to do for the last fuck knows how many years. That's just what it does. If I allowed myself to go backwards and felt like the world was against me and started playing the victim, my subconscious will take note of what I'm saying and feeling to myself, and it will take that into action, and it'll just start to do what I've asked it to do. So again, become very self-aware of all that stuff. What can we do on our outer influences? Our outer self-awareness and our influences around us? Well, that's pretty easy. Stop watching the shit you're watching. Take time off social media. Stop scrolling through that. Even if you can't do that, even just join happier groups. Join a positive quote group. Read shit that we post. Look for groups like ours. Make sure you're not watching shit on TV that's going to make you feel negatively. Watch documentaries that can actually learn you something, not something that's going to make you feel something that's going to make you learn something. Even if it's something you might not be as interested in, learning is a huge thing. Reading, whatever. The outer self-awareness and things you can do, you just know. I don't need to drill this one into you so much. It is just, what you should know. Once you've figured out what's going on around you and you start listening to it, okay, that song comes on the radio, off. If you're somebody who has a sort of a playlist, create a happy playlist. Then stop letting yourself, because you're breeding that negativity, and when it hatches, it's fucking nightmare. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I'm going to touch upon when it comes to self-awareness. Like I said, do subscribe, do leave likes and comments. As I say, do share it around. It really does help the video, whether that be to other groups or your own groups or friends, family. I don't care. Just get it out there. I really, really would like to reach as many people as I can, as I said. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.